Welcome back to the #1 podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Chase Demoor
and Gabrielle Moses.
And today we've had a very interesting weekend. Recently, we just had Misfits Boxing 13. A lot of controversy, a lot of drama.
Didn't really go as planned, to say the very least.
Not at all. And I'm just going to jump right into it. There's a reason why, small creators are struggling to get platformed. All these small creators that are working extremely hard to be given opportunities to become major influencers. Misfits Boxing does a great job platforming these small creators. And one in particular caused a lot of issues regarding...
He pissed off a lot of people by doing what he did.
A lot of people, not just people, the sport of boxing in general. And for those people that don't know, most recently, Misfits main event hosted a small creator as the main event. He was getting paid loads and loads of money, and now there's rumors and allegations. I'm just going to go right into it. He did not show up for his main event, and now there's rumors and allegations saying that controversial streamer that we've talked about before, Adin Ross, has paid this man off to not show up and kind of sabotage Misfits Boxing from the inside.
Yeah, they said that he got paid off $50,000 to not walk out for his main event boxing match.
$50,000, and they leaked the stream. He leaked the stream of him on Adin Ross on stream, and him saying, "Yo, bro, I'm the small creator that I'm talking to. I'm talking about Most Wanted, whatever the heck his name. I don't even want to say his name because I'm not going to platform this kid anymore." But came on stream, and Adin Ross told him to back out. And he said, "Bro, I'm trying to get into streaming too. Give me a kick deal, and I won't show up for it." And he did it.
I didn't know he actually posted that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then it got leaked. And then Fred Peck, who does Fred Talks Fighting, goes back.
Fred with the red shirt.
Yes, goes back and has an interview with said creator. And said creator claimed that the nerves got the best of him and he just decided not to walk out. So you're faced with two options right now. One, I really hope you got paid off, because to me, it's... Obviously, we've seen how much courage it does take to walk that ring walk, but don't be talking up. Don't be purposely trying to miss weight. Don't be trying to do all this crap to not have to fight this guy. And when it's time to go and face the noise, face your demons, you got scared and blamed it on anxiety.
I mean, you're literally signing up to go into the ring, and you signed a contract. So I'm wondering too if there's going to be blowback on his end, because obviously Adin Ross and Misfits do not get along.
Right, and obviously Mams Taylor came out with a tweet. He said he's now going to be more selective with who's going to be on fighting on Misfits. Now this causes a lot of problems, Gab, because it's these small creators that want to get into the boxing scene, who want to be involved in Misfits Boxing, are now no longer going to be able to be platformed.
Yeah, he just messed it up for a bunch of other people.
Ruined it for everybody.
That's the kid that got the chance from Misfits. Hey, you don't really have that big of a platform, but you know what? You seem like a good kid. We're going to give you a chance. And then he literally just messed everything up for everyone else who wants to work hard and get that same opportunity.
Well, it's not. You also have to take into consideration too, with that being said, it's it's not just Misfits Boxing. It's the whole social media platform. It's everybody posting for it. All the people that are working. The TV time, because TV time is coveted. It's a saying. It costs a lot to be on TV. DAZN putting on these events, the cost of the venue, the cost of the hotels,
the
travel.
Flights.
Yeah, and he took advantage and used all of it up until the point where it was time for him to do his job. And he didn't show up.
He chickened out.
And now we had a garbage main event. The event got swatted. Now you got Adin Ross and his supportive team going out there and swatting the event, Gab.
Yeah, and there was literally March 8th or something. Adin Ross literally tweeted saying, "Oh, I wonder if this event's going to get swatted," or something like that. There was a screenshot of his tweet. Oh, that's funny that it actually happened.
Yeah, clear the venue out for 2.5 hours, in the middle of a fight. So now one fighter didn't get paid because he didn't finish his fight, which is not his fault. You got them paying more in TV air time. That's not happening. The venue is having to go 2.5 overboard. You got the SWAT team out there looking for grab. The bell broke.
Did you see the SWAT team, who came in and was checking out the venue, making sure there was no bombs, because that's why it got swatted, there was a fake bomb threat. One of the SWAT team members was ringing the bell. They were messing around and joking around. I'm oh.
It was probably not a bomb in there, but they have to do it for safety concerns.
Yeah, but they didn't know that there was a live stream camera still going on in the venue. And one of the SWAT members was ringing the bell.
Yeah, ding, which is fair play. But with that being said, it's just looking at it from the perspective of small creators, wanting to get platformed, wanting to be on TV, wanting to be superstars. It's like now you ruined it for everybody. And it's just
He
like,
really did.
does he deserve hate? Absolutely. But this is the same kid who
Absolutely.
he does deserve hate. I'm very pro bullying. I'm pro bullying. If you're gonna do some dumb crap, you should. It's not gonna. Oh, I did this. Now I'm gonna come out and apologize and say I was scared, and everybody's gonna feel sorry for me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna take a hard turn on that. I think bullying, he should be bullied. And he's this type
Well,
of.
he said it was because of anxiety.
I
and
don't
stuff.
care if it was because his mom caught on fire. Don't take advantage of the platform all the way up until it's time to go, and then all of a sudden you have an anxiety attack. You have an anxiety when they send you the contract, when you're getting on the airplane, when you're training for these fights. You flew all the way from England for a free trip to America, which is it's not cheap. Took a free trip.
Yeah,
all
it's
the way
like
there.
at least a $1,200 flight.
Stayed in the hotel, ate up all the food, missed weight.
Wait, he also missed weight?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, missed weight. And Misfits, Mams Taylor, all the people, KSI, bending their back, trying to make this work out for this kid.
Wait, how much did he miss his weight by?
8 pounds.
Oh, that's not enough. That's
You
not
can't
water weight.
accidentally miss weight by 8 pounds.
Like he was over 8
Yeah,
pounds.
over 8 pounds.
Okay, that's just not.
He's not
proper
trying.
training.
He
Yeah,
was
that's
trying not to have to fight. And Fox the G, and mind you, here's the worst part. It was a 2v1. It was him and another guy versus one guy.
Hey,
He was still scared.
But I give it credit to the other guy who still stepped in the ring. That his teammate, who he was literally supposed to be boxing Fox the G with, what was his name? The other guy.
It doesn't matter. Evil hero?
Yeah, I give credit to him for him not backing out.
He did. He stood on business. He went in there.
He stood on business.
He got his clock cleaned, I will say. But he stood on business, and he went in there and he faced the noise. He went and took that ass whooping with dignity.
He did.
The other kid's a coward. He's a chicken.
Yeah.
And like that, it ruined my night. And I'm watching from the audience.
Pissed.
I'm watching from the audience. I'm like, this kid's an absolute clown. This kid's an absolute chicken. This kid was given a platform, and he took
Your
advantage.
tweets.
Yeah, I went right at him. I was like,
You went straight to Twitter.
I'm gonna bully him. I'm a bully. Like,
You were.
oh, please feel sorry for me because I had anxiety. This is the same kid that goes on Twitter Spaces, and this is how he gets clicks on Twitter Spaces. He says he claims to be suicidal. He claims to want to harm himself so that people will go click on his Twitter Space and join and talk. And he does this religiously to get clicks.
Wait,
Yes.
like he's done this multiple times in the
Multiple
past?
times. To get people to come in his Twitter space. And that is a
That's
shame.
messed up.
It's a messed up for people that are actually suicidal, that actually battle depression, that actually go through crap. Because I battle depression sometimes too. And it's just like, for people that actually go through stuff, this kid is using
Mental health
and sympathy from people who care about that community to better himself, and then missed weight. And that's why I was mad about it, because he's gonna take this situation because he's trying to make people feel bad for him, and he's gonna try to use it to grow a following as the kid that sabotaged Misfits. Now all of a sudden he's gonna get a kick deal. Like, what is Adin Ross doing? Why is Adin Ross supporting
really
that?
hope
That is a low blow for Adin Ross.
I really hope this kid does not actually get a kick deal, and I hope he ends up getting screwed over because what he did was not okay.
You got
And
Adin
using
Ross-
mental health.
Yes, and
on
Adin
his
Ross
Twitch
sanctioning.
stuff?
Yeah, Adin Ross sanctioning a fight the same day. They were trying
Oh,
to
that
sabotage
fight
him.
was bad too.
That wasn't just that fight. It was all those fights. That one was hideous, but like, those are the same kids that are talking about, oh yeah, I want to fight, and we're gonna give you a platform.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The heavyweight ones too that you were showing me the clips from.
Brother, and it shows. It goes to show what type of people these are, and what people are willing to do to put themselves through.
I think people too are starting to get like way too greedy because they're seeing how much money this influencer boxing is making people. Not only is it making the network a lot of money, it's making the boxers a lot of money, the team, there's opportunities for sponsorship. And all of a sudden, these people are coming out of the woodworks like, hey, I want to have my own boxing stuff. Or, hey, maybe I want to become a boxer. But it's all for the wrong freaking reasons.
Yeah, good luck to them. That's all I got to say is good luck to them. And
Right.
those fights and everything is sanctioned. And then, we had the return of Taylor Holder this weekend.
And he wants to box Bryce Hall.
Well, yeah, before we just get into like all that controversy, Taylor Holder, he shows up 5 days notice. It's tough to get that cardio and fight a boxer. Last time I was in Nashville, I fought a guy 24 hours notice, but this story's not about me. This is about Taylor Holder for a second. And, he's had... DraftKings is bringing you only the best. Classics like slots, roulette, And poker.
And we like to have a lot of fun, so if you go and download the DraftKings Casino app and use code UNSCRIPTED, you can actually get an instant match for whatever you're playing, up to $100. All you have to do is bet $5. Instant casino app.
If I bet $100, they're gonna bet me $100?
Yep, they will match it if you use code UNSCRIPTED whenever you download the app.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 and over. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility and other restrictions apply. One per opted-in new customer. $5 wager required. Max $100 in casino credits awarded, which require one-time playthrough within 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Restrictions apply.
Arguably a really tough time the last couple of years. You know, a guy that had everything, millions of dollars, this and that, a big platform, to essentially having nothing. And he's been doing the whole country music thing. And, you know, last time he boxed, he was the main event on Social Gloves against Anis Gibb, another big influencer. And so now he fought on a prelim against a smaller guy. You know, and regardless of how much time either one of them have been boxing and how much time they had to prepare for it, you know, it was good to see that, you know, somebody who actually battled demons and actually battled mental health was able to come back and put on a show and perform for, you know, people back home watching, his audience, his fans. He got the win. Doesn't matter how he got the win. Doesn't matter what people think his performance looked like. He went in there, he got the win. And then, you know, Bryce Hall, being one of my very, very good friends as well, him and Taylor Holder were going back and forth, and you know, there's a boxing match there, and
That would be a good fight.
yeah, well,
I'd watch it.
You know, Bryce has experience, you know, fighting bare knuckle. He's one of the sponsors of bare knuckle boxing now, and you know, Taylor on the other end of that, he has 8 years of boxing experience, and so I think they're about the same weight. They got, you know, good carnage there, good history, both, you know, Viners, TikTokers, YouTubers. One of LA's biggest a couple of years ago. So I think, you know, there is a making for a big fight there. And I think, you know, that bad blood runs deep. And I
think that could get ugly though.
It's going
Like
to
the
get very
press
ugly.
and stuff for that, I think it could get so ugly.
You should expect it to be. You should 100% expect it to be ugly. It will be very ugly. It will be very controversial. It will be very problematic, you know.
It'll get views. It'll get so many views though.
Yeah, I think it will get views. But like, here's the thing: is like, you want to fight on the Taylor Holder Bryce Hall card, whether it's Misfits boxing or bare knuckle. A lot of small creators are going to want to get on that, and it goes back to the main event.
Yeah, back to the whole thing that just happened. Do you think they'll fight bare knuckle?
I don't think so, because it kind of goes back to, it's one thing to put on gloves and fight somebody.
Yeah, because you have the padding of the glove. 16
kind of
ounce
just
gloves.
protects your face from getting cut and your knuckles from getting broke. To fighting bare knuckles, like, you can get held, you can get. I wouldn't do it personally, because it's just like, I like my face too much.
As you're looking at yourself in the camera, I like my face too much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't want to do it per se, but you know, who am I to say that, you know, their bad blood doesn't run deep enough to where they would just like.
They actually want to hurt each other.
I would like to see it happen on, you know, maybe an MMA, because I know Bryce Hall has a good wrestling background.
Really?
Yeah, and Taylor Holder has a good striking background. I think, you know, MMA.
I just want to see them step in the ring together.
I just want to see the build up.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of room there, and it's a big fight, and I'm sure a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people stateside, Americans.
It's a big American fight.
It's an American fight.
People in the UK, I don't think will care too much, but I think Americans will be like, oh, the tea, the drama. People will eat it up.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. You know, we'll see where that goes. You know, but you know, enough about the boxing. I kind of want to transition into.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
What?
The TikTok
Yeah,
of the old guy. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so heartbreaking. You could tell the full story, but it made me feel bad. You know me and old people, guys.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I have a soft spot.
I wouldn't. You know, I'm not really saying like feel bad here or there. Basically, there was a TikTok that's recently going viral. I'm gonna play it right here. So basically, what this guy's talking about in this TikTok is he is stating that he's had a marriage to X amount of person for X amount of years. He found out that his kids, who he's very concerned with, that are deadbeats. Apparently, he's a judge, but are deadbeats.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out like why he's a judge, he's done all this, but his kids are not really doing anything. And at first he was blaming on his mother, and after 40-something years. He found out, or 50 years, whatever it is, he found out that the kids were not his. And he's given a kidney to these kids, to one of the
No,
kids.
that's how they found out.
Oh, yeah.
That's how he found out that they weren't his kids, was because he went in to see if he was a match for his child. Turns out they're not biologically related.
So he was willing to give a kidney to this kid. And it turns out they weren't biologically. Well, regardless, I'm going to start by saying this. As an adopted kid, basically, I will say that blood does not make family. So after 50 years, bro, those are your kids. I really hate to break it to you. Whether
you raised them.
Yeah, whether you create similar with our families back home. If you have adopted or stepdad or whatever, there are people out there that firmly believe. Similar to having pets, even. My dogs are a prime example of this. Those are my family, and
they're like mine.
Yeah, they're my kids. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I really feel for him, and I'm sure he's going through a lot emotionally because everything he essentially knows is a lie. And it's more deep than just the kids. Now you have to think that his wife was not faithful.
Their entire marriage.
Yep. And
50 years.
There's a lot of lying going on behind the scenes, and a lot of things might have been different had she been honest. And, she's dealing with a lot right now because now it's like now she doesn't really have the choice of going to him and being like, hey, that's a false information. But now she has to face the noise of being like, hey, it did happen. It was a long time ago, and I lied to you. So it's like, how would you react to that?
Well, it's 50 years later. It's like, okay, hate this person for the short life you have left, or talk through it and figure out what happened.
I don't know if there's any talking through that at that point, though, Gab.
But it's 50 years. It's like 25 years later or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like, are you going to settle because time healed it? Because time forced it to heal?
Yes. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't think I would ever want to be with someone who's cheating behind my back and having someone else's babies.
It's not even that. It's just like knowingly.
It makes me wonder too, like, where was he at in his career when all this was happening? Like, was he never home and that's why he didn't put two and two together that these children were his?
It doesn't, I don't even think that really matters at that point because it's like you assume the best interest in your wife.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you ever question a paternity test if you feel like you're like, oh, we're expecting a kid, you're actively sleeping with this woman, all of a sudden she's pregnant, you would assume it's
you would assume, you wouldn't have that thought in the back of your head. Oh.
Like, oh, she's getting
maybe it's Gary down the street, his kids.
The milkman or the postman or whoever you want is coming through.
They're not just delivering milk.
Unless, like that kid came out black, I wouldn't have any other questions.
Fair. Yeah, like a different ethnicity. That'd be a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
Hey, so, I have something to tell you. Thanks for holding my hand during birth, but it's not yours.
Right. And it's just like, now think, Gab, like what else plays into that is...
Well, also, other things that play into that was how long ago this happened.
No, it's not even that. We've talked about how long ago it happened. What I'm referring to is she knew that it potentially could not have been his kid. So at what point does she think in her head, like, maybe this kid looks nothing like
XYZ, yeah.
XYZ, and he looks more like this person I was sleeping with. Now, do you tell that person that you were sleeping with? Because think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you go tell him, like, hey, by the way, I had a kid of yours 50 years ago, and I never told you about it. Think about that conversation.
That would mess up him. I feel like the guy who didn't even get to raise his own kids.
Yeah, what if he wanted to be a parent?
What if he never ended up having kids?
Now it's like, what if he wants to be in their lives now? Yes, I get it. It's 40 years later, but my mom is 48 or 46. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's only 6 years older than my parents. So it's like at a certain point you think,
like,
do I want, like, they might want to know their biological dad because there's going to be some questions in there.
Also, like, health-related stuff. Oh, does Alzheimer's run in the family? Is there cancer in the family? Like, all these unknowns.
Okay, so, like, how do you handle that?
Cry a little bit.
Cry a little bit.
Get some ice cream.
Just pretend like it never happened.
Bury it deep down inside.
Think about those kids and how they're looking at their mom.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, well, the judge in the TikTok was like, yeah, they're, like, in their 20s, so Let's
Their
see.
40s.
Oh, he said that they're in their 40s. See, I didn't listen to the TikTok that well.
So
But
it's like, how do those kids look at their mom now?
you ho.
It's just, it's a lot to dig up.
That's a lot. You need lots of therapy.
Well, and then it's also, you grow up thinking like your parents are happy-go-lucky together, and all of a sudden you have to think in your head, what was going wrong in my parents' marriage, and when did it fail to the point where she felt like she needed to see somebody else?
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
Because you got to also, here's the thing, Gab, is you're also not processing is nowadays cheating's a little bit different because now you can text and you can snap and you have social media.
You can hide it.
Back then she had to gone out of her way to go see this man.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that. Like all there was in person.
There wasn't like,
Texting wasn't like
yeah,
it
she wasn't
is.
picking up the house phone and calling, bro. There was no emails.
Oh, they're being sneaky.
These are the things you have to think about. Like how the
Cheating
hell?
was different back in the day, guys. It was way harder to do. You're even
Yeah.
more slimy of a person to do
the person
it.
had to have known that she was with somebody else because back then everybody was from the same town. It wasn't like you were just hopping on airplanes, flying. This guy is old.
We started taking AG1 because we were so tired of taking so many different supplements and we just wanted a single solution. Since starting to take AG1, I feel so much more awake in the mornings. And not only does it deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, and pre and probiotics and more, but it's also a pretty powerful healthy habit that's really simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day, every day. It replaces my multivitamin, but it also covers any nutrient gaps and supports my mental and physical health in just 60 seconds every morning. Try AG1 and get a free year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/unscripted. That's drinkag1.com/unscripted. Go check it out.
Oh my goodness.
Grandpa was out in the fields working, and Grandma was at home baking more than pies, baking somebody else's kids.
Oh gosh. Dang. I never thought about cheating back in the day. Like it was harder to do, but you were even a worse person if you were cheating on your family without
Most
Snapchat.
of the time, women were staying at home, doing the cooking,
not
doing the
wrong.
cleaning, raising
Most people were.
somebody else's kids.
Jeez.
You know, and
That's so messed up.
it is very messed up. So, like, these are the things you have to think
Dang,
about.
that makes me think like back in the 1800s. I wonder what it was like to cheat.
Well, women, I mean, I feel like,
Like
adultery for women back in the day
Tell
was like damn near a death sentence. So,
No, it was. But you know, those men were slimy back then. They had brothels and stuff, and that was like a normal thing to go to.
I'm not here to talk about what is right or wrong. I'm just telling you what it was. I never said the guys are right either. I'm just saying, like, the guys are getting handed out death warrants and prison time for
no, it was
adultery.
It was bad for women back in the. I mean, in some countries today, it even is still bad for women.
Yeah,
Like
we were
in
just
Qatar,
talking about
Kuwait and Qatar, like you can't leave the house without a male, like a guy being with you, like whether it be your uncle or like your dad or like any male, you can't leave the house. Like it's illegal.
A lot of Middle Eastern countries are like that still to this day, I feel like.
Yeah, like if we went to Dubai today, I would have to have someone else there too because any opposite sex people can't be in the same hotel room. They can't like be around each other, like nothing.
Well, this is kind of goes back into like what I was talking about with how whatever society you live in is based on like whatever religion is dominant. You know, I think in the Middle East, it's Muslim. Islam is like the biggest religion over there. So a lot of the traditional based stuff is based off of that religion. Here in the United States and the Western world, a lot of Christianity and a lot of Christianic views on things. So I think, you can't really say which is right or which is wrong. Like over here, it's easy to say like, oh, they're very wrong, but you also have to think over there, they're probably saying the same thing about what's going on over here. So it's like
exactly.
having a fair point from both.
It has to do with like the cultural aspects. It has to be with like where you grow up. Like there's so many different aspects of things. And I think whenever you travel too, that was a big issue. All these influencers going to Dubai and like Qatar and like all these places dressing like absolute hoes like you would in America. That's not okay to do. Respect the culture. If you're going to go somewhere and visit, be so respectful and understand like what you're getting yourself into. Don't be shocked that you should be wearing like no shoulders showing. Don't be shocked when you go to a new country. Read it up before you go and travel.
Read it up is crazy.
Like, study a little bit because you don't want to like put yourself in a situation where you end up in jail. Like, Brittany Grimes.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, Griner. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the weed. I mean, come on, don't travel with weed. But like, she got in big trouble for that. Like, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, you know, a lot of things played into that as well. But bottom line, like, you know, I just want to go back to the drawing board here. It's like, we're gonna talk about modern dating. Talk about modern dating because that's what.
It's a dating podcast.
It is a dating podcast. Pop culture / dating. We talk a lot of other stuff, but I want to talk about like modern dating. It's just like nowadays. So I'm just gonna put it out there. Dating apps. Mm-hmm. I think that I'm pro dating apps because I think that a lot of times now people are growing up behind a cell phone screen. They're used to Instagram's basically a dating app. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, it is.
So
100%.
People nowadays, rather than just using Instagram in the sense of I'm using it as a dating app, use Instagram what it's for, and then get a dating app because everybody on that dating app has like-mindedness. They're trying to find one another. And the reason I'm pro dating app is because I feel like today, whether I agree with it or not, I feel like kids are a lot more shy. They're a lot more reserved and awkward. You go out to, what do we call them, iPad kids?
iPad kids are growing up and they don't know how to communicate face to face with others.
We've seen it. 100%.
Yes, even like being around like younger kids, like for example, like this isn't a bad thing or whatever. Like kids don't even know how to talk on the phone.
Exactly.
Like we were around someone this weekend, they're like, what do I say on the phone? Like, how do I ask? It's just like,
right.
You pick up the phone and you're like, hi, I have a question about this and this. Like kids don't know how to do that these days.
Right, and like that goes back to, you know, that's just how like they are growing up specifically, and that is no shade to them or no dishonesty to them, but like that's why I'm pro dating apps because I think they found a way for the modern individual to also be able to express like their love interest, and we can say whatever we want, you know, 100 years ago before they had cell phones and tech, and you know we text and we do all that. Before our generation, it was house phone calls. Before that, you know, it was like writing letters and you know what I mean? It's just like if you go back to the day where it was like motherfuckers are writing letters and showing up to doorsteps.
You would have to go to balls.
Yeah, exactly. Romeo and Juliet.
Think about Bridgerton, the show. Like they had the courting season.
Well, nowadays, if you show up and throw a rock at somebody's window, you're probably calling the police on you.
You're a stalker. You're a creep.
It's weird.
You know?
You know what I mean? And then you try to tell them like, well, nowadays, you know, our generation, we're texting and Snapchatting and doing all that stuff. They're probably like, well, that's not in person. So how are you building any genuine connection? You know, you gotta respect the time differences. And you know, nowadays, like modern dating has to do with the app. Like, there's been a lot of very successful relationships that I think came out of
dating apps. No, that's true. There's even more horror stories.
Are there more horror stories or are there less horror stories, but you just pay attention to them more?
Yeah, I think it might be less horror stories. Most of the time, it's not compatible. Like you have 10 people getting thrown at you, and of course, they're not going to be the one.
You never know.
I've heard of a lot of people that I've known, though, getting engaged to people that they met on dating apps.
I'm pro dating apps. I think, like I said, I think that, you know, Gab, if I was to ask you, like, well, how else would you find somebody nowadays? Oh, I would just go to a bar and start talking to a girl or a guy or whatever, and he goes, well, what if you don't drink? Well, then maybe if I'm at
coffee shop.
I'm at well, what if you don't drink coffee? Well, then I would just go to a park and or a gym. Well, if you don't work out, okay. Well, then I would, you know, just find, okay, where? At work?
Yeah, a lot of people meet from work.
What if you don't have anybody you work with? What if you're a janitor in a men's gym and you're a guy? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to have something for everybody.
I think some people do still find those genuine connections like out and about or through mutual friends still. That's a big one.
What if you ain't got no friends? I know a person named Douglas who ain't got no friends.
He's a dog, so that doesn't really count.
It doesn't matter. He thinks he's a person.
Douglas does think he's a person. He sleeps with his head on a pillow.
Well, yeah. Well, regardless, it's just like you have to have something for them, I feel like. So it's like, yes, there are a lot of horror stories that come from the Tinders and the Hinges and the Bumbles and all that. But here's the thing is it's like, if it was more horror stories than positive stories, then it wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah, I think one time or at some point in time for a YouTube video, I need to just download a dating app and rate the men's profiles that I see or something. Jeez. Or like rate different, because I've never had a dating app. Yeah. I've never even downloaded one on my phone. Like I've never had an account. And so I think I need to experiment with that and do a YouTube review.
That's right. I'm trying to think, like, how common is it now?
A dating app? My sisters had one. Both sisters, I'm pretty sure, used to have like Tinder at some point.
What do they have Tinder for? You know, like
I don't know.
That's the slimy one, isn't it?
That-
That was just hookups.
No, I'd say Hinge's hookups more.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean they're both slimy. They're both dating apps. You're
I would
not
assume that
having
Hinge is
Christian
more
meet-
modest.
Really?
I don't know.
It's Tinder, Hinge, Raya,
FarmersMeet.com.
Bumble, Christian Mingle, Farmers Only.
BlackPeopleMeet.com.
Is that an actual thing?
Mm-hmm.
No way. You're being for real.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you learn something new every day. I think, here's the thing. If you want to find love these days, you can find it. You might just be looking in the wrong places. But there's so many different things. Like, there's even like mingling groups. Like, if you go on Facebook, there's literal Facebook groups that are meant for finding a date or like making new friends and stuff. There's apps. Like, if you really say that you can't find the love of your life or even somebody just to like have around, you're not trying. Like, there's so many opportunities these days, especially with social media and all these dating apps.
You know, I agree with you. I think there is a lot of opportunity, but I think the opportunity also comes from, are you willing to get out there and try to...
You have to put yourself out there, no matter what aspect of life it is. If it's dating, if it's work, if it's friendships, nothing's gonna come from you sheltering yourself and hiding in a dark room all by yourself. Like, that's not how it's gonna happen. Sometimes you have to like take the reins and just be like,
And don't
okay,
be
we're
afraid
gonna
of
do
rejection,
this.
because rejection is going to happen to everybody.
And that's how you learn too. Whenever you get rejected or you mess something up, like, you're learning something new, like how to make the next time you try better, you know?
Right, and not everybody's cup of tea, you know?
Exactly.
Everybody at some point is going to get rejected by somebody.
Yeah, no matter how beautiful you are or how successful you are, you're gonna fall down at least once.
And you can't do the whole comparison thing either, because comparison will self-sabotage you.
Oh yeah, everyone compares himself, especially with social media. I'm the queen of that. I'll scroll and I'll be like,
It's not real.
I love her nose, or I love her makeup. Oh, I wish I looked like her. Oh, I need the fat sucked out of my face now.
Well, I'm just kidding.
I got the little baby cheeks, but that's okay.
Baby cheeks is crazy. No, I think that's the problem is when you start doing the comparisons online and social media, you're gonna look at like there's that trend right now is like don't believe everything you see on social media. You're seeing that. If I just posted a clip right here and say, hey guys, I made how to make $500,000 today as an influencer, everybody's gonna watch the video, and then I'm gonna say some random crap like, yeah, well if you walk outside and I kick this rock and I knock on this window and I rub my hands on a lamp and make 3 wishes, then and then people are gonna be like, wait, really? There's gonna be, whether it sounds crazy or not, there's gonna be like 4 or 5 people that are gonna be, wait, really? And now they're all gonna, think in their head like, well, I don't have that rock, I don't have that lamp, and I don't have those 3 wishes, so it's not gonna work out for me. It's like now you're comparing yourself to something that wasn't even real.
Yeah, and the other thing is with social media apps these days, guys, there's filters on when you don't even think there's filters on someone's face. Like, they can change the shape of your face, you can change your skin, you can literally change everything on these apps nowadays without even like knowing.
Yeah.
Because even on TikTok now, you can literally change the shape of your face and it won't show up like it usually does at the bottom, like, oh, this filter. No. In some countries and like different places, there's a filter on it. You don't know what that person looks like in real life. There's FaceApp, there's Facetune. Facetune now does videos.
Yep. And there's like lighting makes a difference, shadows make a difference.
Shoot, you see me at 7 a.m. when I wake up. Actually, let's be honest, I don't wake up that early. At 8:30 in the morning when I wake up, oof, I'm looking rough. I'm looking like a little gremlin.
Like, all I can say is like, you guys, regardless of what you look like, that's who you are at the end of the day. And like, you got to learn you might as well just love it, because it's like, you can pay money and you could do a bunch of different things to try to change what you look like, but internally, you're never really going to be able to change yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can live behind a false persona and live behind a false lens. But at the end of the day, it's like you are your own worst critic, and you will look in the mirror and you will see yourself like 10% worse than everybody else sees you. And that's just part of nature. And I think that, it's important to remember that you should always be fortunate and thankful for what you look like or what you have going for yourself, because there's always somebody else wishing that they had what you had. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
No matter how down bad you are, there's always somebody that has it a little bit worse. And so just be thankful to have what you have.
Exactly. And I think too, social media makes it easy for you to think, oh, I could just buy this or do that. Let's be real. The things that it's going to make you happy at the end of the day, it's the people that you surround yourself with too, you know? And like it's how you achieve your goals, or it's like how you help out other people. Like it's not gonna always be about, oh, but I own this bag.
Exactly. Keep
You
good
know?
company.
Exactly. Surround yourself with good people and do something that you're proud of.
Like I always say, and you've heard me say it a million person, if I'm the most famous person in a room, then I don't want to be in that room.
You're in the wrong spot.
You're in the wrong spot.
No,
If you're the most smart, famous, strong, whatever it is in your respective category in that room, then you're in the wrong spot, because at that point, what are you
learning?
Are you building character?
Yeah.
Are you learning anything new? No, you're just putting yourself in a situation to be the biggest fish in the smallest pond. Like congrats. Congrats, bro. You can go eat a goldfish and you're a guppy.
No, exactly. But talking about all these crazy dates and whatnot, do you have anything else you want to say, or can I do my little segment?
Go right into it.
My little segment of coming from the DMs, or in the DMs.
Coming from the DM.
I know, I said that wrong.
Say it again.
But now it's my turn to do my little segment called In the DMs, where we ask you guys some crazy stories. And this week is, what was the worst date that you've been on? And we were just talking about Tinder. This one's actually about a Tinder date.
Oh boy.
We both got pretty drunk and went to a late night bar. It was okay, not amazing, until she ended up chatting with some other guy and getting his number. I'm not expecting exclusivity with somebody on a first date, but come on, don't go chatting up other guys. Then my mate went on a date too, and he went to the toilet. When he came back, she left, and the guys on the next table said she'd gone through all his pockets and his jackets before he left. Thankfully, he had his phone and wallet in his pants. So that was 2 separate dates, I guess, in one story. But
All right, I'm gonna just tackle story A. Listen, bro, if you're gonna take a Tinder girl out to a bar and she meets somebody else, if it's the first date, you can't really be mad, because it's like, bro, like, be so for real. Like, you think you're the only one talking to her right now?
yeah, but at least be polite. Like, don't in front of his face be like, okay, can I have your number?
I don't know. We don't know if that's how that. What if the guy was like a personal trainer?
Oh, that's true. Maybe there's a story behind it. You gotta look at everything from everyone's shoes.
No, like, you don't know. You're making an assumption that she's getting his number in the intent to bounce from you, bro, and go hang out with her. If she came back, she finished the date, then obviously she likes you too, bro. Like, I get it. It's probably pretty annoying and pretty irritating, but it's the first date, bro. You can't really be like, oh, you're not supposed to talk to anybody else because you're here with me. It's on her, yes, to kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
Filter.
Like, she wasn't the most chivalrous.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not defending her by any means. But if that is the scenario, and if that does happen at some point, then you also need to be fully prepared for
dealing with that situation.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first date. Now, second date, third date, like, that's different. Yeah, you came back out and you did it again. It's insane.
But
it's wild.
first date.
But for a first date, that's a little bit much.
You know. Okay, we have another one.
You didn't even get to B yet. You're trying to skip
B,
him.
sorry.
We gotta help B out.
I forgot
now,
we
too.
had 2 stories in this one.
And then story B is like, bro, ransacked your pockets and left is crazy, bro. You got robbed.
That's like who's the one Netflix thing? The guy who Tinder swindler, or whatever it was. What was
sounds like she was out there. She got some free food. She ran your pockets a little, bro, and bounced. Like,
Exactly.
I hate to break it to you, bro, but you got swindled.
I mean, that's a way to make a living, though, I guess. Scamming men.
Like, you should have read that one from a mile away, bro, when she told you her name was Matilda instead of Ashley.
Exactly. Do they match their profile?
Exactly, bro.
Yikes. Okay, now I can go on to my next story.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, there was a guy who said he didn't have children. My online dating profile made it clear that I neither have nor want children. And then he dropped into conversation halfway through the dinner that he did, in fact, have children. But it's okay because I don't see them often. Dude, that's even worse. Oh, and the guy spent the entire time comparing me to his ex-wife. By the end of the glass of wine, I wanted to ask for her number so I can congratulate her on being rid of the stingbat. That's actually wild.
It would have been better if she would have got the number and got rid of that. It congratulated. The dingbat is crazy. I'm going to just say.
That was word for word. It said dingbat in it.
That's hilarious. I got no defense for that one. I'm just going
to. He said, it's okay. I don't see my kids that often. Like, excuse me?
Well, you should have been like, well, you ain't going to be seeing me that often either. Later,
yeah, bye. Thanks for dinner. Leave him with the bill.
Well, that's insane.
That's crazy. This one is a real keeper. Another Tinder date gone wrong. These are all Tinder dates. This is wild. Not mine, but one of my best friends. She met this guy on Tinder and asked him over. He turned up with a suitcase And he said he just got out of prison and had nowhere else to go. She had to call the police to get him out of her house.
She called the police on a Tinder date.
Because he said he just got out of prison and was trying to stay there. Like, be for real.
I'm lost. So she called the Tinder, had a Tinder
So
date.
on the Tinder date, she just, invited him over to hook up, is what I'm assuming.
Okay.
And he came with a suitcase, and she asked, why the hell do you have a suitcase to come over to, Netflix and chill? And he said, well, I just got out of prison and I don't have anywhere else to go.
And why did she call the police though? I'm confused.
To get him to leave.
So she invited him over to her house to stay?
No, to hook up.
And then he didn't want to leave.
Yes. And he said, oh, by the way, I'm coming with a suitcase because I just got out of prison.
Well, in his defense, this ain't a booty call. These cheeks cost some money and some stay.
Oh, my goodness.
That's tough. I don't know.
That's crazy. But that was the last one that I had of those crazy dates gone wrong.
Okay, perfect. Well, shoot. On that note, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning to the #1 podcast in your world. I'm your host, Chase demoor.
And Gabrielle Moses.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.